As Thanksgiving and the holidays arrive while the year comes to a close, we're taking a look back at some of the most compelling conversations of 2023 on the Hidden Killers podcast.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast
with Tony Bruschi.
Talking about the Lori Daybell case with psychologist Dr. John Delatorre. Need your psychological insight on this one to try and break down the fine line that we are trying to examine, cross, and determine, was she aware that she was killing her children or that someone was going to kill her children? And was she an active participant in that in some way, shape, or form? And if she was, did she truly realize that her children were going to be killed? Or did she believe that they were zombies and that she was ridding the world of something horrible and that her children no longer were alive and that these were shells with zombies in them? At the end of the day, the kids are dead. It doesn't necessarily matter what Lori thinks, but in the state of Idaho, it does, because there is no insanity defense there. John, what's your take on this? Did she believe that she was killing her kids or that her kids were going to be killed by someone and she was cool with that because they were zombies? Or was this a plot of they're in the way and I got to get rid of them somehow, so I'm going to conspire with Chad and we're gonna say this is our religious belief that they're zombies and we're gonna get rid of them, and we know it's wrong, but that's what we're gonna do anyway.
I think we're touching on a very complicated question because in my mind, there's no way that she didn't know killing the children was wrong.
Yeah.
That being said, there's also a possibility that exists that it didn't matter that it was wrong. It only mattered that she thought she was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so the reality of the situation becomes, how far are we willing to take someone's belief system as being actual and factual for them? If it challenges what we on the outside view as being sort of appropriate and rational and logical, then we're less likely to say it. And we're also very triggered into thinking, well, a mother would never do this. A mother would never kill her children. When the reality is mothers kill their children a lot more than we think that they do. So in order for it to make sense in Lori's head, there has to be a reason why she's doing it. So even though she knows it's wrong, she needs a justification to do so. And she's using probably what she's already been believing. And so here we are.
And at the end of the day, does it matter what she's believing? At the end of the day, her kids are dead. So when we're looking at guilt or innocence here, and there is no insanity defense in Idaho, at least you can't plead it. But if they were to line this up correctly and really end up showing, look, it looks like she had something to do with killing her children, but she believed she was killing zombies. She really, truly believed that this is what was going on. Is that someone that should be then punished as a murderer and put into prison for the rest of their life? Or is this a situation where, yes, they are truly insane, there is something mentally very, very broken here, and an institutional setting would truly be the best setting for them because of that? Does it matter at this point?
For Idaho, it doesn't matter. For other states, it does matter. And I think we have to determine as a society whether we think that actually does matter. Because when it comes down to it, while motive is never a requirement to be proven in court, there is mental state, right? There is an intent, a criminal intent that is associated with the different degrees of murder, right, that we have. So is it possible that in a jurisdiction that because of what she believes in, the jury takes that into account and says, sure, you might be crazy, so we're either going to find you guilty except insane or not guilty by reason of insanity. But in Idaho, it doesn't matter, right? In Idaho, they just need to prove that she was purposeful or knowing in killing these children. But
knowing and killing the children is, I think, the big question, isn't it? With that, did she think she was killing children, or did she think she was killing zombies? Because if they
in Idaho, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she believed that she was killing zombies. In other jurisdictions, it does matter.
Yeah. So the belief doesn't matter at all at the end of the day. It's if you are connected and you did this, we don't care if you thought you were killing Santa Claus. You're guilty, essentially.
You're guilty. Yeah. In Idaho, yes, you are guilty. It didn't matter if you thought you were doing the right thing, if you thought you were saving your children, or if you thought that the victims in the crimes, in this case, the children, were zombies. It didn't matter. The behavior that was done was the death of these individuals by your hand. Now, that's the real question. Was it by her hand?
Mm-hmm. And if so, or if not, was she involved? Was there a conspiracy or a conspiratorial thing going on where others killed and she was the ringleader or director, or at least aware? You would have to understand or think that she's aware that the children are no longer alive for those 5 months that they were missing. In your opinion, and take Idaho out of the equation here, just from a psychological standpoint, from a human standpoint, from a mental health standpoint of what is best for people, someone like this, if there wasn't different laws from state to state, and you could say this is the best course of action for what this person did, what would you recommend for someone like Lori Daybell, if that could be implemented?
Inpatient hospitalization for what would be the entirety if she were found guilty of some offense. I understand that some people would say that she's faking all of this, that she's some kind of manipulator, and I get all of that,
mm-hmm.
but being in inpatient facility is not better than being in prison. So whether she's faking or not doesn't really matter. She is someone who believed this thing at some point, so she probably needs help because she's going to continue to believe it, even if she's released.
Interesting. With people like this, once they're this far gone, and once they're so ingrained in it to this day, you're on trial for murdering your kids. Your other son is on the stand, and you're hearing such harsh information come at you that probably conflicts with her own beliefs. Is there ever hope for bringing someone back to reality once they're so far gone, or is there sometimes where the switch has been flipped and it ain't coming back?
I think there's always hope, but the person has to want to return to reality. And if the reality is that you killed your children, I doubt anybody actually wants to return to that.
This is an examination of the hidden human condition.
This is the Hidden Killers Podcast
with Tony Bruschi.
Gets more and more bizarre by the day. Did you think you'd be listening to a podcast that was debating about whether a mother believed her children were zombies or not before they were killed? I know. It's amazing what that human mind can do, and also quite scary. Dr. John Delatorre, thank you for joining us and lending us your insight there. If you like the podcast, be sure to press subscribe wherever you download podcasts so you don't miss any breaking updates and discussions on the cases we're following for you right here. I'm Tony Bruschi. Stay with us.